You know, all of these ICE raids are only going to get worse. They're only going to get worse, and they're only going to get worse. And I'm going to continuously say that shit. That ICE raid that just happened in Massachusetts, y'all, it literally, it saddened the fuck out of me, truly. And I ran across a video of a woman stating how she had a police officer as an acquaintance, and they told her how, as a woman, you should be never left alone with the police officer. And then I sent another post that stated how the KKK just magically disappeared, but no, they're actually the new ICE agents. And then we've been seeing notices about how United States citizens will still be able to get deported. And then Trump talks about the Alcatraz prison that he wants them to rebuild and remodel and send Americans to, right? Y'all, when I tell y'all your defense is going to have to be so motherfucking A1 nowadays, your antenna is going to have to be so fucking A1 nowadays. Like, people are going to have to literally learn self-defense, learn security, learn to pay attention to what the fuck is going on today. Because it's literally too much going on today for you not to pay attention to what's going on today. And it's crazy as hell to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, they literally are picking up random people, and there's no telling what the fuck they're doing to them, where they're taking them. There's no truth behind a lot of things the government is giving us right now. But these ICE agents, they're getting very, this shit with the ICE agents are getting very, very dangerous. Truly, it's getting dangerous as fuck.
Booster, ma.
Has anybody seen these new stud muffins? I got this picture as a screen grab from this creator right here. I'm going to tag her down below, but look at these hotties. Let me tell you what's going on. Let me break it down. So I saw this video this morning on my morning doom scroll, and then the next video that came up was about this. Establishing Project Homecoming Proclamation on May 9th, 2025. The dumpster fire, okay, over the last 4 years, the United States has endured a full-scale invasion of aliens entering. And not to side note, but I'm just going to, that a whole bunch of white Afrikanas are going to be arriving on Monday. And that starts the whole new little section that him and Alonia probably carved out for him to save all of his white people from Africa. Okay, now I digress. Let's get back to it. Remaining in the country illegally, causing a relentless onslaught of crime, vagrancy, violence, and death in countless American communities. Okay, guys, you guys can go to the whitehouse.gov and check out this establishing Project Homecoming and look at the bill or whatever the hell this is, the proclamation yourself. But let me cut to the chase of why we have such fit ICE agents. No later than 60 days of this proclamation, the Secretary of Homeland Security shall supplement existing enforcement and removal operations by deputizing. Those are January 6thers, first off, or just your good old, next. And contracting with the state and local law enforcement, formal federal officers, and personnel within the federal agencies. I'm just going to skip to here. To by no less than 20,000 officers in order to conduct an invasive campaign to remove illegal aliens who have failed to depart voluntarily. Okie dokie, Smokey.
When ICE first started doing raids in plain clothes, so many posts and people were wondering how long is this going to take before everyday people, bad people, start impersonating them. Well, the time has come. We're here. One such case is of a North Carolina man who posed as an ICE officer and found a Latino woman and threatened her with deportation unless she agreed to have sex with him. Another Brooklyn man posed as an ICE officer in Brooklyn, told her to go into an alley so that he could question her, and instead attempted to grape her and robbed her as well. And yet another scenario where a man pretends to be an immigration officer and traps Latino men into their car and threatens them with deportation. These are just 3 scenarios, but I've actually found multiple more news articles when I researched this topic. Amazon is selling ICE jackets online. So not only can people be dressed in plain clothes and state that they're ICE officers, but they can have an authentic looking jacket to make these scenarios seem even more real. This is disgusting and disturbing.
Department of Homeland Security threatens to arrest Democratic lawmakers. This isn't just a news story, it's a warning. So this week, Trump's DHS confirmed they're considering arresting multiple Democratic members of Congress after an oversight visit to a Newark ICE detention facility. Something lawmakers are legally entitled to do. The lawmakers, alongside Newark's mayor, entered a facility where immigrant abuse has been documented. ICE claimed they did not have permission. The mayor was arrested. Now the Department of Homeland Security is threatening to arrest sitting members of Congress. Let that sink in, because an executive branch agency is considering detaining elected officials who try to exercise their constitutional oversight powers. This raises a few urgent questions. Is dissent now considered a crime? What happens when the executive branch polices the legislative? What kind of precedent does this set for future administrations? Sometimes the collapse of democracy doesn't look like chaos. It looks like lawmakers getting arrested for doing their jobs. I'll put it this way. But what do you think?
One very early morning in 2010, my husband and I were flying home from Ecuador, where we had vacationed for a little while. We were at the airport at 5 a.m., bleary-eyed, exhausted. We had checked our bags and we were waiting at the gate when I heard my name called to come to the desk. I didn't walk over with my purse or ID. I just left it by my husband because I figured I was just walking a few feet and then coming right back. But that's not what happened. An officer in uniform met me at the desk. 2 other women, both Spanish speakers, were called up as well, and none of us knew what was going on. We were led through a locked door and then taken down a long hallway through more locked doors until we were under the airport, literally under the airport, underground. One of the women was taken away through a different door, and we never saw her again. The remaining woman and I locked eyes. We didn't speak the same language, but we were both freaking out a little bit. Armed guards were stationed around the space because it was open. It was open on one side, like some sort of a garage without one wall. A German Shepherd dog was sniffing the luggage behind us, and in front of us, a guard with a machine gun started going through our luggage. My bag was a mess. We had been traveling for about 10 days, and the only thing that drew attention was a box of incense I bought in Cuenca because the smell reminded me of the place where we stayed. And let me tell you, never buy incense when you're not in the United States. Just don't do it, because this could happen to you, and these days it could be a lot worse. They never explained why we were taken aside. I had to figure that out on my own, and I'm only guessing that it was the incense. After they went through our belongings, they shoved everything back in and waved us back to the gate. No apology, no explanation, just, okay, we're done with you. Nearly missed the flight. My husband had been panicking. He was ready to call a lawyer we met on our trip. Now imagine if I hadn't been American, or if I had this happen in 2025. Imagine if I hadn't been taken back to the gate, but to a detention center. Imagine if that hallway ended in deportation to a country I didn't even know, or a prison in El Salvador. Imagine if no one even searched my bag to discover there was nothing illegal inside. That's what happens today in America. Stay curious.
Okay, let's talk about Newark, New Jersey. Did everyone hear about the mayor of Newark, New Jersey getting arrested for we don't even know what? 3 members of Congress went to this new ICE facility, and members of Congress are allowed to show up unannounced to any facility anytime they want to do an inspection. That's legal. So they show up. The mayor of Newark shows up because he wants to see the facility too. He's the mayor. So supposedly they talk to him, then he goes outside. There's some people that are starting to gather and protest outside, which of course everyone's protesting ICE facilities right now. And so a bunch of ICE people with guns and the whole shebang, their faces covered, they go outside the gate to where, after they spoke to the mayor and he peacefully walked outside of the gate, they go outside the gate and proceed to arrest him. So of course the Congress people get involved and start, getting into good trouble, trying to hold them back and all that. But after all of that, you see on Fox News and other places, they're talking about how the Congress people stormed the building. But then after they storm the building, they get a guided tour of the building. Okay? After somebody storms your building illegally, you don't give them a guided tour. Okay? So make sure everybody knows the story that they got a guided tour after they stormed the building. All right? Make that make sense for me.
I just saw clips about those ICE raids that were happening in Worcester, Massachusetts. If you haven't seen them, you need to stop what you're doing and go look at the ICE raids that happen in Worcester. And being a New Englander, born and raised from New Hampshire, lived in Massachusetts, lived in Rhode Island, man, the civilians and the neighbors who circled around the women that they were trying to detain, goosebumps, like chills, goosebumps. Even right now making this video, I'm like literally breaking out in hives, getting upset about the fact that this is a big reason why we left. When Trump was running for re-election, I started having nightmares about my husband being detained and profiled. And even though he's Argentinian and not, another kind of Hispanic, he could be profiled and rounded up and sent off somewhere. And he didn't believe it, and he didn't agree and didn't think it would happen. But I would have nightmares almost, not quite nightly, but it was escalating. I couldn't imagine how I would be handling it now. Proud to be a New Englander. So proud of those civilians and neighbors who circled around and tried to protect those women. Again, go watch the video. It's pretty sickening that this is what's happening in the States right now, and that so many people just seem to be turning a blind eye and acting like it's not happening. Like, when are they going to knock on your door?